This video is sponsored by my sponsor tier patron, Moxie Duckling. Thank you again for your generous support, and if you too watching this video would like to be a sponsor tier patron and get a shout out at the beginning of each video, feel free to hit the link in the description. That's patreon.com/DanoTheArtist. Let's fucking go! Listen, I know it's been a while. I know, I was making videos quite regularly. I apologize. I had to take a break and grow his hair out, but we're back up in this and look at where we're at. Look at where we're at. The new Switch is coming. And because the new Switch is coming, well, we gotta talk about it. Except I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about the new Mario Kart that was basically announced with this trailer. I mean, the Switch 2 is all well and good, but let's be real for like 5 seconds here. We already knew what was coming. It was leaked to high hell for the last 2 weeks. A lovely 2 weeks, but also a horrible 2 weeks that I never want to live through again. Video cold opens on the original Switch. Shout out my original Switch that I've had since day one. Cool sleek transformation, chiseling sides, syncing ports, goopy ASMR. I was not a fan of that one. Topped off by a grand reveal. We're getting a new Mario Kart. Now, when this trailer dropped, I had already woken up late. So I was running a bit behind, so I unfortunately did not get to record my reaction. But it went about like this. There it is, Switch 2 is real. Is that new Mario Kart? I am a proud survivor of the Switch 2 reveal. I knew this 10 seconds of footage was hiding a plethora of secrets. A bountiful feast, if you will, of burgers. Yoshi burgers. So let's go over it. For what, 10 seconds of footage? For every 1 second, let's talk about one bit of new knowledge we got from what can only be presumed as Mario Kart 10. And yes, I call it 10, but we'll get to that. Let me cook. From the first frame of any footage on screen, we already have new news to start gawking over. Right off the bat, the first thing we're shown is a giant road with slots for 24 characters. Once the Switch flips, we see the camera pan to only show the usual amount of about 12. But if you slow the clip down, and quite literally on the second frame, you're easily able to spot out 2 extra characters in at the bottom of the screen. This actually means there's no room for debate here. We are getting 24 character races. It's going to be absolute chaos, as if Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart in general wasn't already. Also noting, it went from 8 in the original few games to 12 in Mario Kart Wii, and this is the first time we've had an increase in playable racers since then. So this is a huge deal. It's doubling the amount of racers in one match. I think soon enough this is going to replace F-Zero. Can't wait for Mario Kart 99. Now, while we see that this course is called Mario Bros Circuit, we notice that this circuit ends up leading the racers into an off-road area, seemingly leading them to what can only be described as a superhighway. We learned 2 new things from this. One is the first track, assumably, in the game. No longer a Mario circuit, no longer Luigi circuit, but a blend together, a Mario Bros circuit. The other thing that we learned from this new course is by its layout, at least in the trailer, where there are now barricades blocking what is potentially the actual race course and leading the racers onto the superhighway. What this means is that tracks might carry more than one purpose, or are a small picture for what the grand scope of this game truly is. Might it be an interconnected world that you get to go from one racetrack and then to the other? Well, we really don't know anything, so that is just speculation, but hey, I can dream. I think there's more than meets the eye here. Now, this is more speculation and, well, it's all speculation, but might Zero Gravity be back? While it only appears on the screen for about 5 seconds before the Switch 2 enters the dock, a clear structure can be seen in the background with what appears to be a road driving up and looping back down towards the race below. On the side, you can see what appears to be some spectators watching. Whether this slope is angled enough to warrant zero gravity really has yet to be seen, so it's hard to say for sure, but we can look forward to some diverse track layouts even without the feature, assuming the feature doesn't come back. I appreciate the verticality. At the same time this camera pans, we get what is the most exciting point for me. Character redesigns. My beloved. While to some viewers it might not be noticeable, For a longtime Mario fan, it is very apparent, starting with Mario, that his silhouette and, better yet, his face shape is very reminiscent to the puffy-cheeked Mario we knew back in the 90s and 2000s. More or less the 90s. I wasn't there, I'm not a 90s kid, I'm just saying. I'm just spitting the facts. It's most apparent on the character select screens for Mario Kart 64 and Mario Kart Super Circuit, but it's that tiny little lad that he looked like way back when. And that kind of goes for all the characters. Their proportions are seemingly a lot smaller, taking some inspiration from Mario Wonder, but honestly taking more inspiration from those classic Mario renders that I actually discussed in a video a couple years back. But obviously now, with it being 2025, with Mario's more white skin tone, as well as the modern rendering standards of today, seeming as though there's a higher poly count, but still keeping it stylized for the bubbly atmosphere that is Mario Kart. The next character redesign with the subtle change that I don't think enough people are mentioning is Bowser. His design in the last few games was always shorter, a very cheeky look with a very large muzzle, but looking at this front depiction of him, to me, the proportions and sizing is very accurate to old sketches of him. Also, I mean, his head's just smaller, like everybody else. I like him. He looks like a wide lad. With the video being as short as it is, it can kind of be hard to tell Bowser's proportions, but let's be real, his face tells the whole story. Donkey Kong.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, his design is alluding to, I'd say, older sketches of Donkey Kong way back in the 90s and 80s, but more reminiscent today with the depiction in the Mario movie. The problem that I have with it is it reminds me too much of Seth Rogen, and it kind of pisses me off. It also kind of pulls from Donkey Kong Jr.'s render, which actually was supposed to have a character in Mario Kart 64 until he got replaced by the new version of Donkey Kong from Country. And honestly, we haven't really had a full redesign since then, so maybe it's time. This is a new era, so I mean, in a way, this is perfect for setting us up with a new look going forward. Princesses wear dresses now. I mean, they always did, but also they don't have to have a ponytail, which is nice. Peach in particular, we don't get a full look at, but I'm also seeing different proportions from what we can see, that her eyes look a lot bigger, and just like all the other characters, she looks a lot smaller, kind of reminiscent of Super Mario Kart, like the original, and above all else, she gets to have her hair down, and she's riding the bike and doesn't have to wear a tracksuit, still gets to wear her dress. So there are a lot of questions in, okay, perhaps, just a mighty perhaps, can we get costumes? Once again, that's not even something that is alluded to, but it does beg the question. It's hard to get a look at the rest of them, but Daisy, Rosalina on a snowmobile, and Pauline are all in this trailer as well, which is just such a great confirmation. Now, moving away from characters, let's talk about food. God, I wish Yoshi Burger was real. So yeah, they get onto the highway and there is this mystery item that can be seen in what is a drive-through of Yoshi Burger. So yeah, the mystery item at Yoshi Burger. This is clearly not an item box, as an item box always had a palette of pink and blue. This is more of a glowing orange and yellow with fiery green and yellow spirals like it's a steamed ham. This leaves it open for so many questions as to what you would need a Yoshi Burger for. Food for the road? Where does this road lead? To which I guess it only leads to the final thing we know, and that's that we know nothing. Similar to how when the original Switch was revealed and we got a small taste and glimpse at Mario Odyssey but didn't get to see it for another 6 months, I think that we are not going to see almost anything from this new Mario Kart for a while here. But I think the biggest thing that we can grab from this is this vast, open, unknown area that we are going to be traversing in these cars. I think the large open area is teasing at a bigger scope for the game as a whole. It's not just about races and Grand Prix anymore. I think it's about something even bigger. I think it's about an adventure. My immediate thoughts when I see this big open road leading to the vast emptiness immediately gives me Cruisin' USA vibes. Do I think that means we're going to be going across the Mario version of the US? Absolutely not. But like I mentioned earlier, if regular racetracks now veer off onto the Grand Highway or other giant roads, who knows, and they lead you to more races, the question I ask is why? There are various roads off to the left and right, with the right having another billboard and the left path winding out to another vast distance, all coming together at the superhighway. And this is where I get the name Mario Kart X, the X standing for cross. Thus my prediction, Mario Kart Crossroads. Look, we got mission mode in Mario Kart DS, we've gotten sprinkles here and there of other fun little systems, but imagine for the first time an actual campaign, a grand adventure that takes you from humble beginnings at the Mario Bros circuit all the way to vast new worlds that we've never seen before. And don't even get me started on the idea of the crossover aspect, bringing in other Nintendo veterans, but now just hear me out here, because this is the first thing that came to my mind. Imagine, because we're taking a lot of these older, more iconic looks from the Mario franchise, specifically in a lot of the characters' renders, what if we ended up getting that crossover content, but instead had characters and their models be more representative of those more nostalgic versions from the 80s and 90s. I'm thinking Link, that we get to go to Hyrule, but it is a new version of Hyrule Field, specifically from Ocarina of Time. Go to a Kirby world that is more reminiscent of Kirby's Adventure on the NES, with his cute little dimple cheeks. F-Zero, for the love of... Yes! Imagine going from area to area with side objectives and little side missions that you can do. There's ramps on the side of the superhighway, so it's not out of the picture to do some off-roading. No matter what ends up coming out of this Mario Kart game, this is sure to be the biggest Mario Kart ever. And that's saying a lot after what we've been fed over the years from Mario Kart 8 and then Deluxe and then the Booster Course Pass DLC. It is the perfect way to reveal the new system. And I cannot wait to see more. And that's not even mentioning the amounts of squash and stretch that are also apparent when Mario jumps. And perfect timing, by the way, for him going into the dock. It was a great trailer, amazing. And with that, I'm back. It's my first fucking video of the year. I hammered one out in a couple days before January. I have some big videos on the way. Thank you guys for watching. Before you leave, drop something in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Is there any detail I missed? Is there something that you disagree with? Do you really believe it's Mario Kart 9? Do you? Do you? I don't even think they're gonna call it Mario Kart 10. I think look, if I'm right about Crossroads, I deserve a kiss. That's all I'm saying. I deserve a kiss. If it's Mario Kart Crossroads, though, I think, or Mario Kart subtitle, I think that's perfect. I think Tour is a good branching off point from the weird number duology being 7 and 8. I think Tour is good as 9, and then going into 10. That's why I'm just saying Crossroads is crazy. Crossroads will go hard. Anyway, let me know in the comments, and I will be happy to discuss with you guys further. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to my patrons! Yeah! You guys have been supporting me since my last video back in June. And look, I already made an announcement post on the Patreon, but I have to thank you guys so much. And if you would like, links down below, you can join the Patreon as well. Those patrons include Why Guy, Greedy Melons, Bato of the Water Tribe, and our sponsor tier. Shout out to our sponsor, Moxie Duckling. Thank you guys so much for your generosity and support. More videos to come. Let's keep it going. Bless up. Switch to, bitch, switch to! Remember, on April 2nd, 2025, we all go to Wendy's and ask for Yoshi Burger and record it. The look on their face will be hilarious.